Boom! Rocks in the room. And hey, you want to know how to get out while the getting's good or when to get out when the getting's good? I'm here to tell you. And also, we're going to be opening up a can of worms on the business end of actually packaging up the information. Garbage in, garbage out. Remember, folks, I'm going to share some examples of when there's some garbage out there. And if you are a homeowner of the information age, a hot IA, you're interested in learning more about maximizing your profit on your greatest investment, minimizing your stress in your processes. If you want to know how to sell your house on your own, you're in the right place. I'm Rock, Florida, principal change agent, recovering real estate broker, head coach of the master class, Real Estate Without Agents. Ask questions, folks. Ask more questions. I'm writing some stuff about how I didn't ask questions and I learned stuff the hard way. Comment, like, dislike, subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a lot of good information there about what you wish you would have known before you need to know it. All right. And everything you need to sell a house fits on one sheet of paper. It's linked below. And the whole ebook, 101 Tips to Sell Your House Without an Agent. I want you to have it. I want everybody to have this information. So come and get it. Hot tip for the hot IA today is number 33 of 101. And your house, not a hotel. If you're hesitating about selling your house because you want your kids to have a place to stay when they visit, remember, you raise them to be responsible, self-sufficient adults. If you really want to sell your house, this should be the least of your worries. Your grown children can manage on their own. Your house is not the Four Seasons or a Marriott. One of the reasons that I've got this particular little background today is I've only got 5 or 6 years of mine left in the house, and I intend on being a place somewhat similar to that, at least an ideal and Hobbiton type, get me off the grid, a little bitty spot where, you know, about 800 to 1100 square feet is all she and I need. And if they want to come back and visit, they know how to camp. They also know how to build. I'll have plenty of room on the place for them to build something if they want to stay for an extended period. But let me tell you a quick story about one of the, my folks had a place that had the character kind of like this back in the day when I landed back on them a few times in my adulthood. And it might have been wise of them to not allow me. I can remember some times when I know they regretted having enough space for me to alight, and I would have found another way. But, your house ain't a hotel. And if you're an empty nester, go ahead, get a smaller nest or get a nest where you can have a shop and she can have a dedicated little space for her, but preserve, protect, and promote your interest. You raised them to be sufficient and capable. And if they're not yet, I tell you, the best thing my mama ever told me was no. Fact, not fiction. That's a much longer story. And that's hot tip number 33 for today. It's a very emotive process, and the motives and psyche of selling, you've really got to reconcile with that heart of why you're selling. And sometimes you need to get out. And right now the getting's good. Get an RV. Rent somewhere for a while because this bubble's going to crash soon, but I'm not bringing that up in real estate news for real people today. I think that's tomorrow. But again, dislike it, comment, give me some reactions, folks, if this is giving you any kind of value, because I'm going to keep bringing it. And I need to know what you need to know. And in real estate news for real people today, here's what I'm going to talk about, because I just had a conversation with a gentleman who has gone through a life change and he's needing to sell his property. And the way that I counsel people is, when I was trained by my former brokerages, it's all about the paperwork, right? You just got to get the listing. You've got to get the disclosure. And most agents just kind of go out there and find what was last listed on the MLS, and they don't really have a full awareness of all of the improvements that you've made and all of the things that you know about your property that you can reduce down to paperwork in a digital format. And I cannot tell you how many times that I have seen properties represented by real estate professionals that it was obvious that they had not made an inquiry into the true and proper information regarding that household. Okay? It's dangerous, folks, when you turn your household over to a representative that may or may not ask you all these questions and provide all these checklists. So I had a gentleman who he's definitely come time to sell his property. And one of the things that I do is warrant, and I steer towards the side of taking too much time rather than too little. Mistakes get made in a hurry. And the first thing I always provide sellers with, I've learned over the years that the general information that the average real estate agent procures about a property before representing it to the marketplace is inadequate. They do not take the time to package up and ask for your past appraisals. That is some very viable data set. How big is it? I've seen so many times where an appraisal on the property was produced by my seller that was declared a different square footage source than was represented prior, by the tune of, even if it's only, let's just say it's only 27 square feet, that appraisal says is more than the courthouse. Now you're thinking 27 square feet at $150 a square foot. That's in excess, almost $4,000. Okay, $4,000 is a lot of cabbage. And percentages and square footages, when you reduce that to cabbage dollars, okay, it makes a lot more impact on my mind and heart. And some of the other things on this checklist that you need to, I provide all of these, all sellers of real property, whether you whether you're going to sell it with a real estate agent or not. I prefer you try to do it on your own and save the 20 grand if you're average in the 30 hours of work that it takes to do that. But put together your information on the property. And that's going to include things like past surveys, list of all improvements that you've made to the property, list of all value-adding features, list of your personal property items that you may not want to move. All these various items of information that you need to have compiled, because it's your house, it's your information, and they're only going to be able to receive what is delivered to them. So the first right step before ever selling a property, whether you use an agent or not, is to get my checklist. It's down below in the link. I want everybody to have the comprehensive list of everything that you need. It's really only 30 items. And you don't need them all, but I will guarantee you that if you have them compiled, it will make you more money and save you stress in the process. Real estate news for real people is today, folks, that you are the real people responsible for the information regarding your real property. Ultimately, it's your responsibility. And you need to know everything to package up. It's called due diligence. And I'm so thankful for my prior life as a business broker, where you had to prove what it was that you were selling. And if you can produce all of those items for the future and prospective home buyers of your property, they're not going to have a bone to pick with you. Okay? You're going to have given them all the information. They need to make a sound purchasing decision. So real estate news for real people is today. I could share so many examples of that, but I'm going to share one. Okay. I realize when I'm looking at real estate listings that are promoted by real estate professionals, and I see 3,200 square feet, and I look at the courthouse records and it says 3,430 square feet. I saw this just last week, 3,430 square feet. and it said 3,200 square feet is what it was. Okay. And in the courthouse records, it said 3,430 square feet. That's 230 square feet for a 150 square foot home. Okay. That's a lot of cabbage, folks. We're talking 30 grand plus of information that was left on the table because the seller told them and put on their disclosure that it was 3,200 square feet, because most sellers don't know how many square feet their house is. They just kind of remember it from when they bought it. For instance, mine's 2,071 square feet. But my propensity is to round up. It's about 2,100 square feet, right? 2,100 square feet. Now, it turns out it depends on what source of information you're drawing that from, because I do have an appraisal that says 2,086 square feet. But this seller had said 3,200 square feet, written it on their seller's property disclosure, and that's what the agent represented. I could tell they didn't even look at the courthouse record that showed another 230 square feet. Okay. That's not okay, folks. You need to know what it is that you're selling, whether the representative of your interests does or not. And it's ultimately your responsibility. So that's real estate news for real people today, folks. Do come get, it's free. It's the comprehensive checklist of everything you need to sell your house, preferably by owner. And if you're going to do that, I also want you to have the 101 tips to sell your house on your own. It's in the link below. I really do appreciate you. I pray blessings on you and your house. Make it a great day.